Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Sweet Lady Thought I Was in the Band. I've told several of these. I swear it's like I'm cursed to get mistaken for a worker a lot. But anyway, here is the story. My dad plays in a band. When he plays somewhere I can go, because I'm under 18, I like to go. I also help everyone set up. My dad is the drummer, so I sorta know how to put them together. I am helping everyone carry up their stuff and start setting up. My dad sets me free and tells me to go get some waters from the car because we got to the part where I don't know what I'm doing. So I run to the car and start grabbing waters. While I grabbed the waters I was humming and singing a song that was stuck in my head. After I grabbed the water I started walking back. This sweet old lady stops me and asks which instrument I played. I asked her what she meant and she smiles and said, "Well, I bet you're the singer." I ask her again what she means and she asks me, "Aren't you in the band, dear?" It was the sweetest thing. I laughed and explained to her that I was here and helping set up because my dad was in the band. She looked embarrassed and said, "I just heard you singing and saw you setting up and I figured with that voice you must be the singer." I smiled and thanked her for the compliment. I told her that was Sky, fake name, job. She still looked a little embarrassed and apologized. I told her it was fine and I was taking it as a compliment. One of my favorite IDWHL moments. This lady was just so sweet and nice. The next story is titled Some Lady Thought I Worked a Bar. I'm 14. So my stepdad, manages 4 bars in the area and my mom works there part-time. She also works at the hospital. They are owned by a close family friend. He has a son 1 year younger than me. The two of us were hanging out outside one of the bars. Each of us were wearing a shirt with the name of the place that had been given to us by our parents. This lady started to approach. We were raised to be polite kids, so we step aside and open the door for her. She looks us both up and down and puts her hands on her hips and says, "Well, aren't you going to escort me to my table?" This lady was obviously like in her 50s and we were obviously teenagers. Dion, fake name, looks at me and I shrug, confused as he is. Lady puts her hands on her hips, she's tapping her foot impatiently and goes, "Well." We show her inside and we find an open table and we sit her down. We start to leave, trying not to laugh and fully prepared to go find our parents to regale our story when the lady says, "Missy, I'll take a margarita." I turn back around and say, "Excuse me." She repeats herself and me and Dion look at each other again, super confused. The lady gets a ding on her cell phone as we continue to look at each other confused. She looks at it and says, "And my friend wants a Bud Light." Dion goes, "Ma'am, we can't do that." She looks very angrily at us. "Why not, young man? This restaurant has very poor service." Luckily at this point my dad, who had been working behind the bar, sees us with this lady and walks up. He says, "Can I help you, ma'am?" She looks at him and says, "You need better staff if they don't know how to get a woman a margarita and a Bud Light." He blinks at her a few times confused and says, "Ma'am, I don't know if you noticed they are teenagers. It is illegal for them to be behind the bar. They don't work here, they are children of the staff." Lady looked super confused. My dad brought her the drinks and she sat there very silent and humble. The next story is titled My First, I Don't Work Here, story. This isn't a bad situation. It was mildly amusing to me. Sorry for the format. I'm on mobile. So, it was Fright Night at Six Flags, and my dad was dead set on us going. We got all-day passes, fast passes, and even left early so we could have fun during the day. Now, because I was a stupid teenager, I refused to wear a jacket. Since my immune system is crap, my dad demanded that I buy a hoodie from the merch section. I didn't want to, but agreed when my dad threatened to take me home. He shoved the money in my hands and practically forced me into the store. I walked in, grabbed the first hoodie I saw and paid for it. I immediately put it on and stood around for a bit on my phone, taking selfies with my sister for her Snapchat account. She walked off to find better signal and a family approached me and asked about my hoodie. Thankfully, they weren't Karens. They just asked me stuff like, "Is the hoodie comfortable? Does it protect you from the cold?" and similar questions like that. They then asked me if I knew where to get the hoodie I was wearing. I had bought the last one. I shrugged and told them to ask the employee. They looked confused and I realized that they thought I worked there. I guess they assumed I was a physical model or something. I told them that I didn't work there and there was only one employee on the clock for some reason. They were a bit embarrassed, but I tried to make them feel better with a joke. We all had a good laugh. The next story is entitled Mom Demands I Give Her My Driveway. This just happened. I was having a great morning with my wife and kids when my neighbor texted me. We have never spoken in the 6 to 7 years that we have lived here, and she has always given me and my family dirty looks. This never bothered me, but it always bothered my wife. We never knew why she did this, but today we found out. Side note. Her husband seems like a decent guy who just acts like he is defeated by his wife. The few times that I have spoken to him, the conversation has always gotten cut short because his wife needed him for something. My house has a very long driveway. The driveway leads up a hill to my house at the top. The bottom quarter of the driveway is shared by my two neighbors. They must drive up it to get into their garages. My side yard overlooks one neighbor's backyard while my backyard overlooks the other's backyard. My pool is in my backyard. Basically, she wants me to give her my driveway so she can build an in-ground pool for her kids. Her kids are a nightmare and she has never controlled them. She just lets them run around and do whatever they want all day. I still don't fully understand why she needs the rights to my driveway to do that, but she did not like being told no. If I'm being honest, I did get angry and a little immature during the conversation, but I felt it was warranted for the situation. She thought that threatening and making racist comments about my kids would be the best way to get me to do what she wants. My kids are half Korean, half European. The next story is titled A Gray T-Shirt Does Not an Employee Make. This happened earlier this month. We have a supermarket that has its employees wearing gray T-shirts with their logo on the left breast and blue or black pants. Most employees wear jeans. This chain has a tradition to, at least once a month, highlight a specific cuisine from around the world. This includes from cheap snacks to high-quality specialty products, like specialty cheeses and craft beers. They run the promotion from Friday to Thursday, and for the popular cuisines, you have to get in early if you want something specific. That week they were running a Mexican Cuisine Week, which is the most popular. It was my chance to grab some of my favorite chili peppers. But with work and all, I finally visited my local store on a Wednesday when they were low on stock. Before I went, my mill asked me to buy any of the canned chili they bring on these occasions. The can is about 1 kilo, with good enough chili, for canned chili that is, and excellent for camping trips, which my in-laws are enthusiasts. I arrive at the store dressed in a plain gray t-shirt, shorts and flip-flops, 40°C outside. I grab a cart and make a beeline for the promo aisle. They had very things left on the shelves. After a bit of searching, lo and behold, the last 2 cans of chili. I grabbed them and put them in the trolley. I grabbed some other stuff I wanted, a couple of jars of pickled jalapenos and queso dip, and go to browse the rest of the aisles for anything else we needed. I was deciding which yogurt to purchase, when a middle-aged lady approached my cart and grabbed the cans of chili. I reach and grab the cans, not her or her arms, to stop her. B. Idiot woman. M. Me, SM. Store manager. B. What the duck are you doing? Screaming. M. That's my groceries, please put them down. B. No, they're not. You're just restocking. Go in the back, bring more, and tried to pull them back. M. Again, that's my groceries. Go find yours. I said and finally managed to get my cans back. She looked at me, aghast, and then started shouting. B. Is this how you treat customers? You are here to restock shelves and help customers, not shop. And tried to have another go at my cart. The whole shouting drew some attention and soon a security guard approached us. He put himself between idiot and my cart and tried to calm her down and asked her what was the problem. She goes off in a rant about how the employee, me, was rude to her, didn't help her and tried to attack her. Before the guard could respond, the store manager approached us. SM. What's the problem here? B. Your employee here, pointing at me, was rude, unhelpful and tried to attack me. The store manager looked at me, at my attire and shook her head. SM. Lady, I don't know about the attack, but we cab watch the cameras for this. But I can assure you that this man is a customer like you, not an employee. B. But he wears the uniform. SM. He isn't wearing our uniform. Just wearing a gray t-shirt doesn't make one an employee. She tried to start another rant, but the manager cut her off, suggesting to follow her to review the camera footage. On that, the idiot huffed and stormed off. I was left to finish my shopping in peace and retired the gray t-shirt from any further shopping endeavors. The next story is titled Furious Determination Does Not Equal Stocking Shelves. Not super juicy and definitely a few years out of date, but I wanted to share because this lives in the back of my brain more than it should. Back when I was in college, probably about 18, I lived in my best friend's basement for a summer. I had an air mattress, and like 2 pairs of pants that sorta fit, so her mom took us shopping to Old Navy and I was determined to find pants that actually fit. I hate pants shopping. I hate it so much. My legs are this very fun shape, where my calves are normal, my thighs are huge, and my hips are slim. Don't get me wrong. THICC thighs save lives and I love mine. But I do hate trying to fit them into any pair of pants. Either they fit too tightly in the upper leg, assuming I can even get them up, or the waist is huge and my pants are constantly falling down. I have in years since decided it's a losing battle and I can take in the waist or wear a belt, but at that time I was determined to find pants that fit me. I went into that Old Navy on a mission. Now dear reader, you may be wondering what on earth this has to do with this subreddit. The answer is everything you would expect. There I was, furiously going back and forth from the changing rooms to the pants section, graciously adhering to the item limit on the rooms as I grabbed 4 different pairs, tried them, brought them back when they ultimately failed me, and put them back to take 4 more pairs. On one trip, a lady asked me where something was, like the sundresses or something, and having been in that section with my friend before I started my rampage, I probably said something like, "Oh, over there," before barreling back to the changing room. I didn't really think anything of it until my return trip, when the same woman tried to ask me something else. Whatever it had been, I didn't know the answer, so I had eloquently responded along the lines of, no clue. While looking at her like she was the crazy person, and not me the jeans rampaging adultling tearing up the shelves. I just remember her looking bewildered, and asking if I worked there. Apparently, despite my pride hoodie and paint-splattered jeans, she had saw me going back and forth with such determination and purpose, that she had assumed I was an employee stalking. We had an awkward but sweet little chuckle over the mix-up and I probably muttered something about hating pants. I know it's not exciting, and the end is a bit anticlimactic, but I never did find any pants that fit my thunder thighs. The next story is titled My First Experience. As the title states, just yesterday I experienced my first instance of IDWHL, and it was quite perplexing. So I went to a shoe store to get new Crocs because I wear them for work, a store where the uniform is a light gray shirt with red accents and dark blue, black jeans. I am trying on different colors of Crocs, as one does at a shoe store, and a man starts hollering from the adjacent aisle about needing a different size of the sneakers he wants. It took a couple of quasi-shouts before I realized he was talking to me, and I turn and just stare blankly at him. He then asks, "Do you work here?" After already yelling at me to get him different shoes like? I told him no, and he just kind of mumbled an apology and went to get an actual employee. The best part was that I was wearing a very worn-out Bob's Burgers graphic t-shirt and army green running shorts. The next story is titled Regular Got Harassed by Another Customer. This didn't happen to me but to a regular in my shop, and it's not too exciting. I work for a well-known pet store where our uniform is a blue shirt and jeans or black pants. This poor girl and her dad were at the back of the store shopping when another customer came up asking her for help. She was wearing all black and her t-shirt had the BLM first on it. She told him she was just there shopping with her dad and to find an employee. The entitled guy didn't like that and asked her to help anyways, in which she refused, telling him she didn't work for us. The entitled guy came up to my till and went on a 5-minute rant about her and how unprofessional she was before I sent him over to an actual employee who could help him. That employee just so happened to be a manager, so I guess he complained to my manager as well, because when this poor girl came to cash out, my manager came over apologizing to her and making sure she was okay. She was a good sport about it and awkwardly laughed it off with her dad as she told me what had happened with the guy, and I in turn told her what he had said to me. I also gave her an extra $5 off for the inconvenience. The next story is titled Lady Thinks I Work at Library. For context, I was in a library in the manga section to see if there was any JoJo manga. There were none, and this, I believe, mother and her son were close by, also checking the manga. The son then decides he wants to find Star Wars books and his mother goes. The convoy was in French. I tried my best to translate. Mother. Well, we can ask this young lady over there. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't know if she was talking to me. Mother. Young lady, do you know where the Star Wars books are? I was confused why she asked me, and I have read enough of these stories to know she probably thought I worked here. Me. I don't know, sorry, I don't work here. Mother. Oh sorry, I thought you worked here since you were near that cart, points at cart with books next to me. Me. Oh. Mother. Let's go find the other young lady, referencing the worker they talked to a couple of minutes ago. The fact that I was near the cart, making her think I worked here would have made sense, if only the workers weren't wearing bright blue polos. I was wearing a black Coca-Cola shirt, gray sweatpants and a black hoodie tied around my waist. Not very professional. The next story is titled I Live Long Enough to See Myself Become the Villain. I'm in Walmart trying to find a very specific dish soap. I'm not a frequent Walmart shopper, so it takes me a good lap around the store to finally find the cleaning products section. I'm exhausted at that point and wander the aisle listlessly, mouth half open and mentally overwhelmed by the seemingly endless options. Then I see her, a woman, wearing a plain, blue-collared shirt and khaki pants. She's facing away from me, but my mind says, plain blue shirt and vague pants, that's the uniform of a Walmartian employee. I beeline to her, desperate to get some help in this mind-melting, free-market utopia, hellscape. This was back in the day of mandatory masks, so when I sheepishly mumble, "Excuse me, do you know where I can find stupid product I don't remember?" She doesn't seem to fully hear me, so she turns toward me. The second I finish my sentence, I realize that she is not an employee, but just another innocent person lost in the retail sauce like me, but wearing a blue shirt and unassuming pants. Oh crap. I turn to look at the products on the shelf in front of me, hoping she didn't hear me and I can just pretend I'm fascinated by the variety of soft scrub available on the shelf above her. But my ruse doesn't last long. She says something like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I fold under her third degree like a cheap lawn chair and confess my mistake. She laughs. I laugh. We laugh. I leave the store without buying anything and never return. The next story is titled Customer Thinks I Work at This Store, and Tries to Get Store Manager to Praise Me. This is one of my few, quite fond, memories from working in retail. I worked in a kids' clothing store in the mall that is local to me. We have no real set uniform, except for a baby blue lanyard around our necks that says, "Ask about our rewards." My manager said nothing about not putting pins on them, so naturally I put a couple of my favorite pins on mine. A skeleton cat pin, Bob Ross, and a pin that says, "Multilingual." The last pin was very important and helpful to me, because I have a lot of customers that don't speak English primarily, and at times don't have a translator or family member to help. I'm the only employee at this place that can speak another language other than English, and I'm glad I can use it to help others who don't understand it. I speak Spanish, a bit of native Hawaiian, a language I am so proud to have learned, and a fair bit of Japanese that my BF is helping me learn. One day as I got off my shift, I decided to muck around a bit and go shopping at a store I get my jeans from. I walk in, and I feel a slight tap on my shoulder. I turn to see a sweet, gentle-faced abuela looking at me like she needed help. She looked like she was trying so hard to find the right words, but kinda stopped herself like she was nervous. "Need help finding something?" I ask the woman, immediately going into customer service mode even though I'm off the clock and this is not my store. She gives a blank shake of her head and goes, "Oh no. No English." Naturally I spring into action, and ask if she speaks Spanish. Always good to make sure, because I don't want to embarrass her. She says yes, and I carry on asking her in Spanish what she's looking for. She smiles, and tells me how she's shopping for her grandkids but has no idea where to look. I cease my shopping, and help the sweet woman, who carried on telling me about her family, how she's visiting from Mexico, and how excited she was to see her babies. I help her find a good sum of items, and even offer to help pay for some of it. I had gotten a good paycheck that week, and was gladly gonna pay for some of it. She wouldn't let me, but she gave me a sweet hug, and asked me to follow her to the register. I help her there, translating for her as she asked the lady at the register questions, then asks me to tell the lady this. In Spanish, "Tell this lady to get your manager for helping a poor grandma. You're a good worker." I smile a bit, and told her I would. I didn't want to embarrass her by telling her I didn't work at this store, but I still hold this memory close to my heart. She bought her things, waved me goodbye, and I went on with my shopping with a smile on my face. She was such a sweetheart, and I really hope her visit with her grandkids was fun. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some